Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm Kirsty and this is Stuck in the Mud. If this kind of content speaks to you and you find it helping you, why not like the videos? And if you're not already, subscribe to the channel because it's free. And the more people that subscribe and like and all that good stuff, the more YouTube will put this channel out there, and hopefully we can build a bigger and better OCD and anxiety recovery community together so we can help each other. So in today's video, I want to talk about how isolating and lonely OCD can sometimes be. And the thing is, we can often feel like our particular subtype of OCD, or the way we carry out certain compulsions, the things we think about, we can feel like they're kind of special and different to everyone else. And we think that we're some kind of maybe special case that can't be treated. It's untreatable. This can't be fixed. We have that kind of mentality where, this is different. This might be OCD, but it's different. And I don't think it's going to get any better than this. And that's a really scary and really lonely place to be when you think that there's no way out, because there is. And this is the thing I want to get across with my videos, is the fact that you can get better from this. I've had just about every subtype of OCD out there. I've had some of the most terrible and scary, abhorrent, intrusive thoughts that you could think anyone could imagine. And it's excruciating when it gets bad. You just wonder, how can you go on like this? How can you exist with these terrible thoughts in your head, these really just nagging intrusive thoughts, unwanted intrusive thoughts that just won't quit, they won't go away, they just so intense, and they seem just to get worse and worse. And the reason they're getting worse is the fact that we're listening to them, we're involved in them, we're really getting hooked into them and trying to figure them out. And that is the reason OCD does what it does. It grips you and it seems to just get worse, and it doesn't give up. You feel like your whole day is consumed by OCD, the way we live, the way we have to carry out numerous rituals, compulsions, just to try and feel a tiny bit better. And it's not the way we should be living. None of us deserve to live that way. And I just want to make you understand and realize that this is 100% treatable OCD. A lot of people might think that because maybe we're wired a different way and the way we process information is different, that this just can't be fixed. This is just the way we are. But that is wrong. That is just not the way to look at it. We can change the way we respond to our thoughts and the way we respond to an urge to carry out a ritual. We can actually do something different about that. We can change the way we respond to that. And it takes time. It's not going to be easy. I'm not going to lie and say this is some quick fix. It really isn't. And it takes a lot of time and patience. But once we're aware that OCD does what it does, the way it wants to latch onto you, and it'll go after what you value the most. And being an OCD sufferer, I know that, we're sensitive people. We're generally very aware of all the negativity in the world, all the kind of nasty, horrible things that are out there. And we latch onto them because we don't want to find ourselves in that position. That's just, morally we're up there, as OCD sufferers. And it's just not in our nature to do anything that abhorrent like that. I've heard it before, as OCD sufferers are the safest people to be around. But we're very aware of the fact that if we think a certain thing, that makes us guilty almost. We're guilty of even thinking a horrible thing. We're very, we want everything to be safe. We want to feel safe and our families to be safe. We just generally, we don't want all that horrible stuff to happen to us. And that's just natural. We're all, we all want to live our lives and, without all the nasty stuff and the horrible stuff. But, that's not, it's not life generally. Generally, there's going to be ups and downs naturally to life. And there's going to be some tough stuff to deal with. And there's going to be lots of happy, wonderful times as well. And that uncertainty for an OCD sufferer is just, it's unbearable. We don't like uncertainty. We like to know what's going to happen. So we constantly chase those thoughts that happen to us when we get an intrusive thought, maybe about keeping a family member safe or, our child. We obsess over it, and we constantly carry out rituals because we think that might keep them safe. And logically, we know it's not, but there's just this pull, and it's all consuming. We want to carry it out because there's that element of doubt there. And, OCD doesn't like doubt. So it pulls us in again, and we just want to just feel safe, feel like we're doing the right thing. And the right thing sometimes to us feels like just carrying out a ritual, just one more time, so we can feel safe, just till it feels right. And we might feel a little bit better. But generally what happens is it'll just come back round again because, we're putting that element of doubt in our mind that something bad could happen, something could go wrong. And our brain knows that. Our brain's, taking note of all this, all the time. It's like, we need to be in a state of emergency about this. And, we're making it important. Our brain's noticing, this is important. I need to take note of this, and I need to do something about this. But when we can change how we respond to these thoughts, this is the beautiful and magical thing about it. Although it's not going to feel comfortable, it's going to feel, strange that we're not following up on these thoughts, we're letting them hang out there and be there. That's going to feel weird at first, but it does get easier, believe me. And I talk about this in so many videos, just letting your thoughts be there, coexisting with you, having a relaxed awareness to them. We know that they're there. We're not pushing them away. We're not trying to get rid of them. They're just hanging out with us. It's going to feel weird at first. It's going to feel uncomfortable, but when we can bear with that and build that tolerance to that uncomfortable feeling, the sensations within the body, it gets easier. And these thoughts, that's the magical thing, they fade away on their own. And we start to realize, our brain starts to take note that, that we don't need to hang on to this thought because it's not important. This person isn't chasing it all the time. We're not trying to figure it out. It's just there, and our brain just discards it because it thinks, well, I don't need to take note of that. I'm not in an emergency state over this thought. As horrible as this thought may be, as abhorrent and violent or sexual or any of these things, any type of subtype, doesn't matter, because these are unwanted thoughts. You don't enjoy these thoughts. As an OCD sufferer, you do not enjoy these thoughts. As much as OCD will try and trip you up and say, hey, well, what if you do want this to happen? This is really you. That's just OCD. It's just trying to keep you in. It'll go to it'll just carry on. It won't stop. It will carry on trying to trick you and trip you up and get you back involved in the thought. And that's usually the ultimate one where they go, OCD will go, but what if this is really you? And you've got to be aware that OCD is going to try and pull you in all the time. It's not going to quit. It's going to keep going until our brain recognizes that this is not important anymore. It takes a lot of practice and consistency. It's going to be ups and downs, and you're making steps forwards and then maybe a couple of steps back, and then you just go forward again. There's going to be setbacks along the way, but you will get there, and our brain will then realize that we're changing how we respond to this. It doesn't need our attention. And that is why you can get better. As awful and abhorrent and violent and all whatever kind of strange thoughts you have, nothing could surprise me. Anything you could say of the type of thoughts you get could surprise me. And that's why it can be so isolating and scary and lonely because you don't think anyone will understand you. And this is why I like to do these videos and make people realize that you're not alone. There is help out there, but the problem is when we think, well, this is special, this is different, and no one's going to understand this. It might be that the way your OCD and, your compulsions manifest, it might be different to someone else, but that doesn't mean it's special in any way. It's just it just comes out a bit differently in you. It's still all unwanted. We don't want to be doing any of this. It goes against everything you are, but we still get the urges with it. We still get the pull all the time. And, we can think, well, I'm stuck there. This is just my life now because no one's going to understand this. No one's going to, believe that I'm a good person because I'm having all these horrible thoughts. And that can really stop you from getting the help you need and the help you deserve, because people in the medical field, they understand OCD today. It's a lot more, widely understood, I think, these days, and people get that, these are intrusive thoughts, and it doesn't mean that you would be in any way associated with the type of thoughts that you're thinking, because that was my thought years ago when I was having thoughts, the POCD and around harming my children. It was terrifying, because I thought, well, what are people going to think about me? What are people going to, even the doctors, when I had to kind of say the kind of thoughts I was thinking, what are they going to think about me? And I hadn't heard much about POCD, back 10 years ago. And it was really after some digging around that I heard about it, and I was like, oh, maybe this really is OCD. I was aware I had OCD, but the doubt and the confusion over the type of thoughts I was thinking, I thought, well, what is this all about? What does this say about me? And that's all OCD. It's not who we are as people. It goes completely against our nature and who we are at our core, which is just very sensitive. We're very empathetic people, and we take a lot on from our surroundings. And it's really unsurprising that OCD feels like it's growing, because we're so immersed in online media and the world news. Everything's at our fingertips now. So it's no surprise that this kind of mental health disorder is probably is getting worse, because we're very overly exposed to everything these days. And the sensitive people among us that maybe just wired a little bit differently, and we don't rationalize thoughts, the way we process information. Everybody gets intrusive thoughts, but we just react a bit differently to them because they scare us, because we want to know why we're getting them, and we doubt why they're there, and what does this say about us as a person. So I just wanted to really talk about that and, make everyone aware that this is 100% treatable. You can get better from this. We change our relationship with the thoughts. We have a lot of beliefs over our thoughts, and that's what we're changing. We can change that. We can realize that this is OCD. This can be changed. The way we respond to them. We might still be wired that little bit differently. That's always going to be the case, and we might be easily triggered by things, but we can react differently. And I know it's hard, and some days I can feel like I'm easily triggered, and I will be aware of the thought coming in, and I just do something different with it now. I'll let it be there. So I'll be aware of the fact that, oh, this could be a trigger for me, and I might feel that pang of anxiety that, oh, here we go again kind of thing. But that's just trying to get me to hook me back in and try and get me on the OCD train, you could call it, trying to go on its journey and try and figure everything out. And it doesn't work. It just gets us trapped and stuck where we don't want to be, which is trying to figure what's going on and what this means about us. And that's just all going to lead us to one place, which is feeling worse. The OCD is getting stronger and it feels more intense. We're going to feel a lot of anxiety and panic and guilt, shame, all the rest, all those very difficult emotions that we deal with OCD. So don't feel alone. You know, there's so many people going through this. Maybe your particular intrusive thoughts, you know, your subtype of OCD feels just so abhorrent to you, and you think, how could possibly anyone understand? Nothing could surprise me. Like I said, nothing would surprise me. I've had just about every intrusive thought I think you can possibly get, you know, and all the ones that people will think, oh, that's the worst thing you could actually think of. You know, as a society, you know, we have these things that we think, well, if you're that person, you know, you and rightly so in a lot of things, you know, that it's shameful how you could behave like that. But as an OCD sufferer, we just latch onto these things because of how they're viewed in society, and we just think, well, that's the worst thing I could be, and I'm thinking about this all the time, so what does that say about me? I'm trying to display out loud what our OCD brain is doing. It's like, oh my goodness, what does this mean about me? Does that mean I could do that because I'm thinking about it? You know, it just races on, and it won't let go. The more we kind of latch onto it, it just gets a stronger hold on it. But if we can just think, yeah, I don't want this thought, you know, we wouldn't be having all this anxiety if that was the case, you know, we certainly wouldn't. We don't enjoy these thoughts. We wouldn't be in such a hurry to get rid of them if we actually enjoyed it, of course, you know, it just wouldn't be like that, you know, we don't enjoy thinking about these things, and we want to feel safe and comfortable. But OCD will try and hook you in. It's always going to try, and it's going to, like I say, go to those horrible places where it'll try and trick you into thinking that this isn't OCD when it clearly is OCD. You know, we don't want any of this. But to get better, we have to do certain things, and it's going to take some time. But you can do it. And this is what I want to talk about today, is just that the fact that you can do it. You can get better. You can heal from this. It doesn't have to control your life like it may have done in the past, like it did for me, for example. You know, it controlled my life on and off for 40 years. And it's only really now that I'm coming to a place where I can really change the way, you know, I'm very aware of when those thoughts are coming in. I'm very aware of when, you know, there's a trigger there and it could easily, you know, hook me back in again. And I just let it be there. I just do something different now. And that's how we get better. You know, it doesn't control me in any way, shape or form like it used to. And you can do it too. And you deserve to have a life free of OCD and controlling everything you do day to day. So I really hope this video has helped you today. Please comment down below if this is somewhere you found yourself. You felt like, you know, my case is special. This isn't going to get better. You know, this is different. And how can I possibly speak to someone about this when the thoughts I'm having are so abhorrent and strange, or, you know, in any way weird to you? You're like, how can I possibly open up about this? You know, have you felt lonely, and have you felt like you can't open up about this? You can. So let me know in the comments what your experiences have been, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys.